Hi, my name is Marcy. I'll be your host for the Finance Unfiltered show. Today I have a guest, Simon Muriungi. He is a business development expert, a startup and an innovation coach. He's also a CEO of Yakol Consultants Limited. Yeah, so welcome, Simon.
Thank you, Mercy. It's my pleasure to be here to Nairobi with. And I'm ready.
Okay,
Let's get started.
okay. Can you tell us more on what you do?
So, I am a business coach, certified by the International Labour Organizations. I've done this for very many years, supporting thousands of MSMEs, startups, and innovations, and they're very different. So, how do I support my clients? I move with you from identifying, are you fit to be an entrepreneur? Of course, everyone is fit, but with some shortcomings. I help you conquer that, ideate, and move all through with you to the process of commercializing your business. And when you commercialize, we will support you until you break the 100 million target, where you leave the space of being an MSME.
Okay. How did you enter into your journey of coaching?
In my journey of coaching, my biggest calling is to tackle unemployment head on. I think it's a thing that we need to combat because I completed my first degree very many years ago, and I looked at people that we went to in college, those who are ahead of us. The rate of unemployment is very high, yet people are very well equipped, have their degrees and papers in place. But now, when they look at the objectives of education, creating a job is one of them. So that touched me, and I felt I should enter in this space and now help everyone who wants to become an entrepreneur. And where we have now businesses that are existing and organizations that are running, we now train their staff. That is why I'm the CEO of Yakol Consultancy, which also does corporate trainings. So we ensure the staff and the workforce that we have as a country and in any organization, they are well equipped to go and deliver, perform, grow their organizations. And once those organizations grow, they uptake now those others that need these jobs. So you either create a job, or where you're employed, I help you perform. That was my inspiration. The rate of unemployment is very young, and it's very high, and it will increase because very soon in Kenya, we are going past the mark of 80% of our population being under 35. That means we need to create very many jobs, and if we don't, it's a disaster. We already can see the hopelessness, the things that the country is going through, even in our demos and whatever is going. Unemployment is the highest contributor.
Okay. You said you did your degree. What did you study?
Yeah, my first degree is in education. Then I did public relations and communication. I went back and did project management as a master's degree, among us around other 8 diplomas.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, talking of unemployment, what is the very main reason for unemployment?
Eh, I do not want to accuse the academia world that prepares us or our upbringing. But there is a debate that academia is not giving people innovative to solve our solutions. I think it's both cultural and our system of education, and how previously we've made 8 to 5 employment, white collar jobs. We have romanticized them and made them look like the A thing, the best thing. But now when you look at it, the the employment in Kenya right now, MSME startups and these, we call it the Juakali sector, is responsible for over 60% of our employment rates. So when I look at it, it's the culture of romanticizing the 8 to 5. And when you look at it also, less than 10% of the employed Kenyans earn over 100,000. And when you look at the cost of living, it's very high. So the rate of unemployment is a cause of culture, the academic contributions, and how we do. So we are sorting it by coming up with practical experiential modules that we take you through 1 week training and then 3 months mentorship, and then we can unhold you once in a while.
Okay. Okay. On part of employment, uh, does it mean that there are actually employed people who are undervalued?
Yes, there is undervaluing, and then there is the economic fair play, and the competition is very high. So there are very many jobless graduates who are going for jobs that they are underqualified, and I think there is the issue of being employed overqualified, which is not very well looked. But again, the economy and the employers who are there, how much are they making to also be able to pay you according to their scale? So it's a problem that it's a yes and no thing, but majorly the yes wins.
With you being a coach, how do you navigate through your finances?
As a coach, let me get to how even we are. We've been in the field, and it has been growing steadily. We get good income, of course. It comes in, and once it comes in, we are managing and navigating well. You see, we are able to be good and okay, but every day feels like a tug of war with your money. You don't know whether to invest in the next cause, in the post office, to make your car, to spend on your family, to go on a vacation, buy the next suit, look elegant, piga sherehe kidogo, treat your body, or save for a rainy day, because jobs also, they are not as promised. There are days, there are weeks you go without a job. There are jobs that you do and the payment delay. So it's a tough journey. It requires a lot of planning yourself and organizing yourself to ensure you're never caught on a flat tire on a rainy day. Yes.
Okay. What are some of the common habits which people in your field, common spending habits or financial mistakes they do make?
There are various mistakes that we do. At the entry level, you see someone now, you're a consultant, you provide this service. So you really want to look like it. So you pick all your money, you get the best of it, decorate it, make it elegant, and have your staff ready, waiting for customers. That is the most common thing I see consultants who are starting get into. And they end up spending a lot. And then when you're there, you learn that customers will not come to your office because it's not like a product that they need. And they will just inquire online, they will come and ask. And eventually, you get to see that you invested in the space and in the elegance, not in yourself, in your skills, where you need to really grow, go and give. So that is one that I have seen. There is a lot of excitement that comes with lump sum pays, and at times the money is spent just like us in business, how we spend the others in business, how they spend the money. So there are those that with a plan, there are those without. There are those who have moments of struggle and moments of success.
Okay. Is there is there a time when you did a financial blunder in your business and it really affected you? Or do you know of someone who has experienced the same?
Of course, we learn from our own mistakes. Uh, when I was starting, I was excited by the money that came. And I felt like this money will always come. I looked at myself and said, I'm very young. Why should I start planning for future? Why should I worry? And to be honest, I spent that money on myself, trying to look elegant, trying to sound the CEO, trying to create that image. And what is the other thing? I don't know if I should call it black tax, but I was very good at giving the money. I really wanted to solve everyone's problem, and the giving was too much until one time business went down and I realized, oh boy, you're on your own. It's a very rainy day. It's a very bad time, and nobody wants to look at you. So those were the mistakes I think I did. I never went saved. I wanted to rescue everyone. I went even into debts while giving and not imagining the future would have a day that you would not be in business, probably 2020. That's when I came to learn, so there comes a time you will not have money, you don't have savings, and the people you've been spending on are not there for you.
Okay.
Yes.
I talking of the people you've been spending on are not there for you. Do you feel like your people around you influence how you view and you use money?
Yes, greatly. Actually, your friends at times determine your habits, and as it is only saying, bands of the same feather flock together. So your biggest investment would be in friends who have the best financial habits that you also desire, so that they help you learn, because your habits is the number one saving plan that you would have and the best financial decision you would have. And those habits will be determined by your friends and the people you hang around. So you better hang around the people with the best habits that you desire and financial plans, and that will be your number one financial decision. So probably after 2020, I had to change the group of friends that I hang with. I realize I'm no longer young, so you get to people who are doing the things that you admire, the things you never did, and they help me navigate easier and better, and I'm always ready.
Okay. Talking of habits, how do you form good financial habits? It's hard, especially when you get a lump sum of money. How do you create the discipline? Or, yeah.
Okay, first let me discuss the discipline. Money has its own unique ways of getting to us. When money lands in your pocket and you're not careful, or lands on your phone, on your radio account, and you get that message, one thing that changes first is your body composure, your confidence, your energy levels. People around you can tell you have money. You even want to bully people on the road. You're not scared. You just want to just go get there. So that excitement is the first pitfall to making mistakes. So how do you build discipline? You build discipline majorly by having a long-term plan well figured out, in that even if money comes that you didn't expect, it has always a conduit or a channel of how it will be absorbed. You will absorb it in your investments, in your savings, in projects, and other plans that you may have. So how you get discipline fast is, one, you need to track your expenditure. You need to really know where your money goes. And I remember one of the things that I did when I changed my friends was tracking how I spend my money. And by the second week of doing that, I learned a lot of holes where my money goes to, the wastage and that, and you close it. Once you're able to contain that, now it's the plans, how you invest, short term, long term, your bills, how you cater for them, then how you save and how you prepare for future, and how you have to figure out your life and know for how long am I working and how will I end up to.
Okay. Talking of once you get money, you feel you have some good kind of confidence. What is the first and the biggest purchase you made when you had your very first amount of income?
Yeah, I said I wanted to look like a CEO, so I invested in looks.
Mm-hmm.
I also have had experience previously. I had been called to one of a members club only, I remember. And I went to my client and I served them, and they made good money from my consultancy services. So they wanted to refer me to their friend and give me my next assignment. And they asked me, when you get to the gate, tell the soldier you're coming to see me and they have your parking card. And I don't know what they wanted me to pack, because anyway, my leather shoe itself, uliza kiatu, it would have told. how the walking has beaten me because of that. So it intimidated me. I also went to a friend's home, and the kids opened the two main gates for me. So I felt I always needed a car. And I went for a car, but luckily I also had friends who guided me. So we also acquired land, and we did good investments. So the money, you can tell, was good. So I had the money to also spend on self, purchase a car, get to land, and save, invest. Yes.
Okay, but don't you think like the dressing that you did, okay, the change of look that you gave was an added advantage? It was not really more of a negative thing.
It's a yes and no thing, because you, you have to know the levels you get to. In these sectors, there is a way you dress up, and you even lose client. You need to look at the client you serve and meetings that you go and how you need it. So I invested so heavily. I don't know. I don't know if I wanted to be the Minister of Finance. I invested in that too much. That was not necessary. It told of the pressures that I had, that I projected. Same ones that made me acquire an office and make it very executive with a red carpet. And yet, there are no customers. Friends who came to check, hang out. I was in town, I felt beaten, I came to drink water and hang around, so they were not as necessary. I should have grown with my business. At the pace of my business, that is how I should have gone. I should not have gone extravagant. Because I also treated friends, of course.
Okay. Okay. Okay, talking of that, how do you now handle very big purchases or big purchases? For example, you need to buy an equipment in your office or something you need in your workplace. How do you handle such big purchases right now in your business?
How we handle them, it's always a long-term plan, unless it's something that we really need, that is urgent, and the returns are promising. So we feel we need it right now. Then, so you check on our savings, you check on where to source for funding to acquire it. But we must have thought through it for so long and heavily, and seen and considered it a good investment, worthy taking and worthy having. So we're never excited of things or buying unplanned. We always have a plan. So if you inject a huge amount of money right now, you will never see me excited, because I know where it's needed, where it needs to go. So you have to figure out and have a plan, so that when money comes, it doesn't find you. You don't disappear on a Friday afternoon and you get back on Tuesday, because Monday you'll be seen, but your hand will be very heavy from sherehe. Yes.
Okay. Talking of friends, uh, are there some things you bought either personally or business which you knew deep down you never really needed, but you wanted to buy it so that you can show it off to your friends or family?
Okay, yeah. There are those things that I said I did so that I would look executive, I would look as CEO, and decorate my office. And there is always pressure for you to look like it among your family. But I think my family doesn't have that. But I've seen this with friends and many parents, the boomers. They have a lot of pressure for their children to look in some way, for them to drive like the other neighboring parents. And for us who grew up in the rural areas, they want you to buy the next land on sale, so that now the community says, hey, mtoto wa nani amenunua shamba, mtoto wa nani drives, mtoto wa huyu does. There is that pressure, and it's very hard to navigate on it. But I've always promised, do not fall to that pressure. Even if it's very tough, manage it, handle it. Do not be pushed into impulse buying, because I've seen friends, people invest a lot of money on investments that would have waited or that would have gone lower as they prepare themselves to invest for future on readiness. Have you seen the trend that was there for debt capital?
Yeah.
For the rural homes and the rest. There are few people when you sit with them, they regret about those huge investments because they see they would have used that money to create more money that now would help them construct those structures while they are comfortable and easy.
Okay. Do you have like a do you have like a story or something you did earlier on that had that has a very positive financial impact in your life? Something that you did that is right now it's very beneficial to you, either personally or in your business.
Yes, what I did was to sit down with myself, see how I've been behaving previously to now coming up with a strategic plan. I saw the friends I was hanging with and the influence and the things we were doing. I now checked at the friends that I would want to have. People who are doing what I would want to do. People who have financial discipline. Clearly, it was lacking back then. So when I did that, I chose to make new friends. The other decision was to track expenses, see how I plan, and be around people who could motivate me and people who could mentor me on how to handle finances. And once I shifted to these friends, and thank you, my friends, you know yourselves, uh, things are different now. I can never complain, but there is always that push to outgrow you. So be careful. If I outgrow you, I make another group of friends. And such is life.
Okay.
Such is life.
Okay.
Yes.
Uh, what is a financial mantra or a phrase that you feel like people are misusing nowadays? Is it something like eat the money will be there tomorrow? What
Yes.
is,
Yes. Kula pesa ikuzoe.
yeah?
That is one.
Mm-hmm.
That spend this money until it gets used to you.
Mm-hmm.
That is one. And you live once. Once the money is there, you just remember you live once. And you spend it. Which is the other one? Do you have any other you've heard of? You're
Okay.
giving me choices.
Yeah, if the money you don't have can't buy a bag of cement, eat that money.
Yes. Eat that money. If it can do it, if it can solve the need you have, just eat it. That's a wrong mantra. Yes. And once there's something that lacks in financial discipline. That's why we have these mantras. If you do not have a long-term plan that is, or a plan that is very convincing,
Mm-hmm.
you'll spend your money because naturally we buy and spend for psychological reasons, not real needs. So your brain has to justify why you need something. So you have to have a plan that is so concrete that peer pressure from internal your psychology doesn't convince you to buy things that were really not in your plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talking on friends, you had like friends in different stages of your life. Do you feel like if you had two options, would you have like a million friends or a million shillings in your bank account? Or both?
Let me say both, but you don't need a million friends.
Why?
Eh, unless they meet the best quality, the smaller the better, and it's not the size of the dog that matters, it's the fight in the dog. The smaller the better. You need quality, and I doubt you'd have a million that is of right quality.
Okay.
Yes. Your friends should be in your network, and it's your net worth.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You only need a million friends when you are a politician.
Okay. To
Yes.
vote for you in. Okay. Uh, on the flip side, what is the very big financial mistake you ever made that had a very negative impact, financial impact on your business or personally? the one mistake which took a very big toll on you?
Was wanting to please everyone and solve every problem that was there. In that, I became the man that you would call and say, "Hey Simon, today it's a Friday and it's a boring Friday. Man, can you do something? I'll do." And then I became like, I wanted to solve any problem that is there, and then hanged out with friends who we really misused and spent our money. It was our young days. We don't regret. They were worth it.
Okay.
Yes. So getting back to you, Mercy, I would want us to discuss a bit on financial matters for MSMEs. I know you support, you're good at bookkeeping, accounts, and such support.
Yeah.
So how is it in the field? Because I know you support MSMEs. How have you observed? What are your observations?
Okay, I have been supporting SMEs and MSMEs. I am currently supporting still partly bookkeeping, record keeping, anything to do with accounts. I feel like for MSMEs and SMEs, they have more of, they actually haven't set aside money to, okay, they haven't prioritized accounting bit of their business. The matters financial management and accounting. What are
Uh,
your thoughts?
no, my thoughts, I really agree with you because you've said they don't, and in your explanation, you said you partly support them. I agree because I also am in the space of empowering them. And one thing that is clear, MSMEs are majorly they ran with no plan. Majorly, they rely on the owner's memory. So most of them, the mistake they do is that they do not have records of their inventory, the money that comes in, money that comes out. They also do not separate personal and business money. So when it's lunch hour, they draw the counter and say, "Shika 200, get 500,
Yeah.
buy us lunch," and then the change is given, and they believe, "I'll remember I spent that." And before that, a kid passes by and you want to send them something, you buy. A good cloth passes and you buy. And then the same person goes and they have their money from other sources. They pick it and mix. So the mixing of money is the bigger problem. So most of the MSMEs are not able to start with their financial planning. So with a financial plan, records keeping or something. So what would you advise them? Because that is a common mistake that they do, and it is a start point of failure at the inception of their business. Not tracking their expenses, investment, and around records. And they believe in their memory, trusting there. So what would you advise them?
Okay. I would advise on first tracking your expenses. The second thing, get an accountant, either part time, get a bookkeeper, find something. If you're not really able to get one, there are some accounting softwares you can use, but then your business depends on finances. Make sure you your finances are in order so that your business can run. Yeah, that's my advice.
Uh,
What of you?
a very good advice. I will advise them later, but I first have to ask, are they able to afford accountants or the softwares? Are they free? Do you feel like MSMEs are able to have an accountant? And partly, are they even not scared of accountants? Because at the start, you start unknown and small. How do they fear? Do they have the know-how?
Okay, I think part of it is they fear. They feel like accountants will take all of their money, but then I if you if you have a plan on your business, I guess you there are some accounting softwares which are free free for some time until you get on your feet.
So until you're able to afford an accountant, that is
Yeah,
what you mean.
yeah.
So could I ask MSMEs that would view this? They can reach out to you and tell you the kind of business they're doing so that you recommend to them the best software free that they can use. And in case they're lacking the digital skills to use it, would you assist? And
Yeah,
if you assist, would you be charging? Because that is eventually what they forget.
yeah. I think it's a good idea. They can come to me for an advice. But then chai, I wouldn't mind a chai. Yeah,
You didn't mind that, chai.
yeah.
But would you ever agree to work with an MSME who you've looked at their habit and known they will scale with the promise that as business is going good, they will pay, or do you have a long-term working relationship? Because you've seen there are no jobs and people are starting small. Even this capital to start is a struggle. So would you be willing to walk a journey so that once they are on their feet or business start picking, you're also able to get something?
Yeah, I am very willing, but then you have to pay like the first consultant fee to, for you to know, for me to know that you're very serious about it and you're very committed to doing it. 100% I agree.
As a consultant, I'm happy to hear that you'll charge first because once you start free, there is a lot of lack of appreciation of
Yeah,
our service that we offer. The what do we call it? The service, the knowledge, and the rest that you're selling in this part of the world, it's misused and abused.
yeah,
Yeah, so can I now give advice to the MSMEs like you had asked?
yeah,
So one thing that entrepreneurs do at the start is not even having a book where you will document or write anything about your tracking your expenses and anything else. And you rely on your memory. It won't be long. You rely on your memory first because when you're starting a business, the customers you have are few. The expenses and everything is less. And it tells that you are not prepared to separate personal and business money. You even, because of not keeping records, you can't tell how your business is faring. You can't say what profit you made, how much you consumed, and how much is left. So that's why you start losing. As the customers increase, because you now using your brain, you see money in the counter and someone comes, a creditor picks on credit. You won't rely on your memory. They run away 3 months, you forget. Your those that are supplying you, they supply you items, you look at your box, you pay, and when you can't pay, they leave and you to pick the next day, assuming you're operating a shop that sells products. And before you know it, you are asking a debtor money that they paid you or didn't pay you. So you start losing trust between your customers, your creditors, and debtors. Before you know it, your personal money from other sources has been injected into business, and you can't really track your business. You've now formed a cocktail. And now, once you're able to grow and run your business, do you know what habits you will have as your business? If you're lucky enough to grow, you will now start running to lenders. They could be Shylocks, microfinances, or even banks. So you'll be getting a loan, invest in the business, eat it, and before the payment is done, you go to the next Shylock or bank, you get another loan, you buy out the other one, and start servicing the other one. You run this cycle. You run that cycle for so long until when you are good of age or bills are coming. For instance, you have several children in high school or where bills are heavy. That is when you're caught in between and you go under. And this is a problem that is affecting majorly most of our MSMEs. The French of the mountain call it Kohura Nyabesha. I'm not one of them, so I don't know clearly. My pronunciation would have been different. But it's a wrong habit to have. Take a book, take a software, approach a person who could help you manage your money and track your expenses.
Oh, wow. Uh, Guys, I hope you've had all that. Yeah. But do you think there are some good debt and bad debt? There are some companies or businesses which they got some debt and they took a loan from somewhere and they were able to pay in good time. But there are most which go under. We can't deny. But then do you think that at some point the loans will help?
Yeah, you really need them to operate. I have a friend who says you need to have a loan somewhere that wakes you up at 5. You don't have to rely on an alarm. And it is his mantra. And he says you need to have a debt somewhere so that it keeps running after you, so that you keep pushing. So debts, partly they are things we may not really survive without. They're very good. But you really have to have them with a plan and a strategy of where you're going. At times you have a very good strategy, but circumstances come in, eventualities come and you default. But if you're very disciplined and it has happened, you can talk to your creditor and you both can agree on the way forward. I see the local banks, they even refinance you to assist you stand. But now there are these others now without a plan, and these teams that sell loans, they come to you and tell you, you qualify this, you do this. So the moment you heard you qualify for this loan, you become excited and go for the money. You didn't need it at the first place. It's just that a text came that you now qualify for these amounts, or a bank officer told you. Your books are very good. The money in, money out from your account looks exciting, and we could have this money for you. You run for the money and then start thinking of how to use the money.
Yeah.
That is a very bad debt. You will sink with it. It doesn't matter how much, uh, you will just sink with it. So you really need to have a plan for your debts and the payment terms, and have a strategy to do it. It's always a high risk, high against affair.
Okay. You said, uh, if I remember very well, you said that when you were starting, you had like an office. How did it feel closing it down? How did you handle that?
It is always a moment, a moment you have to talk to yourself, hold a bold meeting and consult, and you really have to know. You really have to talk to your ego and scale it down, because you don't need an executive office that has no returns on investment and it's eating into your business. It's almost getting you bankrupt. So it's either you serve the office or you carry the dream. So it was a decision I took boldly to close it, scale down, and move to a space where my clients can come, where I can serve them from comfortably without the elegance. Because this elegance was for me to come and consume and friends who are in town and always visiting. So it was an unnecessary expense.
Okay, did you have that in mind or did it take a toll on you?
Of course, it tend to take a toll on me. Because first, I picked the office and I knew now I can invite, I can market, I can shout where my office is. I let the world know that I'm in this building, that floor, and take pictures and show out that we are big. I felt customers would, but what they wanted is the value, it's not my office.
Yeah.
So you give them the value, so you come to say, I've paying rent this year, I am paying for these services, I am doing this. And what is the return?
Okay.
So it has to take a toll on you, because at first you always think there's something I'm not doing right. So you follow up you keep trying new methods until you realize, no, it's not works. You consult and meet others and see the kind of offices they're having in the space, and you realize it was maybe an imposter syndrome that picked you to go and try to look very elegant.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you think on having more money? There are times in your business when you there are seasons when you actually have planned and you have financed what you need to finance, but then you have more money. How do you handle that?
More money?
Mm-hmm.
I really have never earned surplus money.
Money is never enough.
Money is never enough. Because I always have things that I feel I should achieve, that I should attain, and money will never be enough.
Okay. Do you feel like more money equals to more happiness and success?
Money is a key determinant to happiness and success, and if balanced with other factors of life, but if not, it is not. And it's a very good question because we all need to check our relationship with money. There are people who get very stressed when they lose money, and that time if they go to an hospital they would get admitted because of depression, stress, pressure, and such things. So money is a factor of happiness, that we agree, but let it not push you when lack of it, when it's not enough, when it's a real tough tug of war. As I said money feels like a tug of war, or now you spend and now you balance. When it's not there, have a mechanism to address yourself and ensure you don't go to those pressures and very unpleasant moments because of not having it. And again, good money is good because we say the Bible, the Christians have a saying of saying these are earthly things, but money speaks almost close to the language of God. Let there be. These things that money can buy, if you have it, you always say, let there be, let this come, let this be done. So if you can have them, that is happiness. So for the Christians, I always say these are earthly things. They are earthly things, but you are on earth. Ensure they pass through you. Okay, ensure they pass through you. So that when you go to heaven, you will have also spent life on earth.
Yeah, ensure
Yes.
they pass through you.
Ensure they pass through you. Do not read the Bible and comfort yourself that these are earthly things. They are earthly things and you are an earthly thing now. Let them pass through you.
Okay.
Yes, so that you speak that money or language of God. Let there be. Yes.
Okay. What are some of the financial habits you wish you had adopted very early while starting?
These financial habits that of tracking, planning for your money, knowing how to handle money, I believe the thing of money should start at age 7. If I were to address this issue. Growing up, you were told money is bad, money will make you not concentrate in class. Our boomer parents would give us less pocket money. When you're given money, you love this habit, you love this habit. So by the moment you're done with the campus and you're out here trying to make money, your knowledge with money, experience with money is too little. So then you've gained independence to be alone, and whoever comes around you first and they have money and you admire them, they become your mentors on how to spend money. So money habits should come in from every parent at very early age. Let children grow with money habits, and that is why I didn't grow up with good money habits. So when I got money, it also taught me how to handle it.
Okay.
Yes. So right now, we are having a program as a consultancy where we are going to schools. We want to address issues like as early as grade 6, leadership. Do you want to be a business? You need to know innovation, entrepreneurship, a bit of these life skills, and moving on. So from Form 3, one should know their line, and now it's around grade 9. It's
Yeah.
grade 9. As they choose careers, we are looking at what we can equip them so that now once one leaves, they know where they are. I know we're doing a few in some schools, a pilot, and we'll have a program that can give uh, children that experience robot comes through sessions at schools.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice innovation.
Thank you.
Yeah. Talking of growing up, you said you didn't grow up with so much money. Do you feel like some of the financial habits we take are influenced by our backgrounds?
here's our backgrounds involve. I come from Meru, the Mira growing zone, so money would be around me, but I was not allowed to access it. Yeah, there was a feeling that money would influence your habits. The people of my age understand when we went to schools, money was considered not a good thing to have. So it was not a single thing for me and the family. No, it was a common thing in schools and while growing up. We feared the influence of what money would have done to us. So backgrounds also matter because for those of us who may have grown up in backgrounds where money was scarce and there is problem, you always see when money comes, you try to overcompensate. So we call it, there's a word that we use for it, where you want now to access what you never earned. So it influences how we manage our money because we come with scarcity mentality. You're not able to forgive, okay, I lacked back then, it was because of this, but now I can plan my life now. You want to overcompensate what happened. You may also have habits of wanting to grab any money that comes your way, no integrity, nothing. Because now you grew up without money and you feel the only thing that I need now to go is money. And for those that have had it, it also can influence you in any other way. It can make you very comfortable, not very aggressive to go look for it. And yeah, how you grew up, the availability or lack of it eventually affects our habits.
Okay. Uh, what are your financial goals? It's quarter 2. We are done with quarter 1. What are your financial goals for your business in this next quarter?
I want not to go public with that.
Okay. Personal?
Both there.
Okay.
But the goals are there. And they are pushed a bit. Given how 2024 after the demos, the economy turned out, how it has touched us in business and how it has affected eventually the economy has had a toll. But as I said, I remember the others who have been able to navigate and have done very well in that season. So in this second half of the year, our goals are very tough and fixed, and we're looking at them and we're hoping situations will allow. We hope there will be stability in our country, and that way we'll have a lot. But even if that is not there, we will spread our wings.
Okay.
Yes, and we've started making entries into neighboring countries where we feel our service would also be needed.
Okay. Talking of instability, how has the recent protest affected most MSMEs in Kenya?
When there is protest, there are those who suffer direct losses. But basically, when there are demos, that is like a holiday, so no businesses are not open. And most of the MSMEs, when you look at them, so there is supply issues that are cut, there is income that you generate. That's a day that you consume without earning something. Then, eventually, the delays, the panic, the buyers are also not there. So it has to consume into our country the taxes that will be paying that day and such. So instability affects businesses in very many ways, from the producers, suppliers, the consumers of services and everything. So it's a time that there is no economic activity that is ongoing. So they're not a good thing to have, but at times they are very inevitable. So because if the policies are not right for MSMEs and they are not supporting, you expect us also to go to those demos to talk. If we can't sit and talk to one another, because I feel we have a problem as a country, from the leadership, from communication, where you listen to me with empathy, I speak up, you give me a response, you show you care and do what you can to save things. So then we will be able to assist one another. So demonstrations are necessary, but they affect our businesses. They also even endanger the future of our country. But again, this country is not for the demonstrators alone. Even those who are up there, who should listen to the demonstrators, the country is theirs. So we need to change from us versus them, and the feeling that if you destroy your country, it's yours. No, it is ours, all of us. And if it's ours, let's embrace dialogue so that we don't burn down our country. And you see, a lot of shops were looted, many jobs were lost. In the days of the demo, the previous day, the day of the demo, and the day after, business is never the same. So it's not a very good thing, but it's a necessary evil.
Okay. It's
A
a
necessary evil, yes.
evil.
Yes, yes.
Okay. What does financial success or wealth look like for you? Is it a healthy family? Is it a mansion in New York City?
A healthy family, a healthy, happy family.
A healthy family.
Healthy, happy family.
Okay.
That's wealth.
Okay. The one thing or advice you would give to our viewers watching, mostly SMEs, MSMEs, and everyone generally.
For the MSMEs, your business relies on money. Once it's not there, you're not in business. So ensure you have a healthy relationship with how you manage your money. To the rest of us, money is a good thing to have. It's a good thing to manage, and you plan, and it takes time. There is a lot of pressure to instant success. If you're lucky to have it, have it. If you have to take your years, take them, but itajipa too. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Before that, there are recent graduations going on, and people are getting out of school into the job market. What is that one advice you would give to the recent graduates?
To the recent graduates, I'll disappoint you and tell you those white-collar jobs you're expecting are not there. I'll also disappoint you that the title graduate used to matter. Right now, you have to put your degree down and think like a hustler. Go out here, check for a problem, check for a pen, check for your skill that you have that could earn you something. Start there. The imagination of I have this degree, so my salary should be there. Kindly get out, feel the world, see how the world is, work with what is there. There is a disconnect a bit when you graduate and when the rubber meets the road. But again, Yakol Consultants is here. We are offering you boot camps, 4 days innovation entrepreneurship boot camp. We will help you know which skill you can commercialize, your passion, a pain or a challenge in the community. We will help you come up with an idea, check if you're fit for business. Once idea is out, we'll help you come up with just 1-page simple business plan and guide you on how to go through it. By the end of 4 days, you'll have figured out how your business will go. And then after that, we promise to offer you coaching and mentorship sessions that will see you self-employ and navigate this journey. So for us, we work with very experienced entrepreneurs. You do not have to sit down and discover the paths and fall into pitfalls, whereas there are those who are succeeding. Let us make it easier for you. So stand on the shoulders of these giants and fly your way, make your money, and create the next jobs for those that you left at freshers level. Thank you.
Oh, that's it for today, guys. I hope the session was insightful. See you then.
Okay, thank you for having me. It was pleasure. Looking forward
Kwaheri.
back to your feedback. Thank you.